So today on the channel, we're going to talk about one of the most important preps, and that is
water.
To store water in a discreet way without getting the attention of your neighbors could be a little challenging. And just one sec, camera guy, don't move. I'm going to totally kill this horsefly on you. Don't move. Oh! Did I get you?
Mutant.
Oh shit. I got the thing though. Look. Are you all right? Take two. Water is the #1 preparedness item, but where the hell do you store it? Today, I think we found a very discreet solution, and you know what that solution is? Your mother's bathtub, baby. Actually, we found an even better solution than your mother's bathtub. That is going to be filling up a shipping container with water. Filling up your basement with water. You could store water in the toilet. My dog tells me it's great. No, today we're going to be talking about storing water in a pool. Today we're going to be building an above ground pool. I decided against putting in an actual below grade swimming pool because quite frankly that costs a fortune. So we're looking for a more cost-effective solution. So we're going to try it out and see how it goes, meaning that I'm probably going to totally screw this up, but we're going to give it our best shot.
Hey buddy, you got a light? Hey man, you got a light?
There are plenty of ways to store water no matter what the scope and scale of the emergency. For example, store bottled water, reusing disposable plastic bottles by filling them with water, filling up your bathtub or using a water bob, filling up the sinks in your house, filling up trash bins, filling 5-gallon buckets or large pots, getting some 55-gallon barrels. Don't forget about the water in your water heater, 1,000-liter totes, and water storage tanks and cisterns. But perhaps there's a more practical solution.
I think that the places where people are going to congregate, especially in places where water is exceptionally sparse, is going to be swimming pools. You're going to see gangs start to take over the local swimming pools because this is where there's going to be a virtually endless supply of drinking water. Of course, in order to make that water palatable, you're going to have to probably filter it or something. So what better way to hide your drinking water supply in plain sight than to build an above ground pool? Now, obviously, we're looking for more cost-effective solutions on this channel, something that's achievable for everybody. And depending on your price range, you can get an above ground pool between $500 and $5,000. In-ground pools, to get them professionally installed, can cost in the 6-figure range. We don't want to do that. We want to have some way to keep the kids out of my hair for the rest of summer and at the same time have this abundant supply of water that we could use to either water the orchard, water the plants, or even drink. Now, of course, if you're talking about chlorinated water, you're going to have to treat the water in a certain way or let the chlorine evaporate off before you use it for some of the purposes that we're talking about today. But it is water, okay? Water is water. Whether you're a homesteader or a suburbanite, if you have a larger water reservoir like 1,000-liter totes, you're going to have to think about how are you going to get the water into there. So what you want to do is you want to get yourself a pump, and this is a larger gas-powered pump. Now, you don't need something this big and this industrial. You can get much smaller pumps that actually run on electricity. This is just a more rural, industrial size, I guess you could say, faster flow rate pump that's going to allow you to move a lot of water very fast. If you are planning on accessing water from a local water source, be it a lake, a river, a creek, or something like that, you're going to have an efficient way to get that water into a reservoir. Otherwise, you're going to be using buckets to fill something up. So these types of pools come in all shapes and sizes. There's many different places to screw this up, so we're just going to walk you through the process. So what you see here is a nicely graded 25-foot section. We have a 21-foot pool, so I wanted to make sure I had a little bit extra. This is one of those cases where an ounce of preparation is definitely worth a pound of cure. We got the footing all lined up. We got everything measured corner to corner. We went around 3 times. I think what we should do now is get all these blocks underneath the footing and just see what happens. You know, I've up a lot in my life and I'm trying not to up. I'm trying to follow the directions. That's why I'm being so careful. If this seems like overkill, you're probably right. So now we have to dig about 1 inch down so these stones are flush with the ground. Okay. Don't do this on a windy day, they said. Okay, so we're just kind of making a bit of a mold here. Okay, so. Okay, when you've watched as many videos about how people have their pools up as I have, you'll be like, oh, that's why he's taking so long with it. So essentially now, what we're gonna do is we're gonna go like that. And then in order to hold that in place, I think this could work. Yeah, people are gonna be like, you reckon your screwdrivers? Don't you think I know that? Take the block out, and we just gotta chisel out a hole for the block. You know what? Make this easier. Water. I don't know if I just made more of a mess, but it's definitely easier. Now it's like cake. Want that? Looks like your doo-doos. Feeling like Shawshank Redemption up in here. Time and pressure. That's the story of Andy Dufresne. All right, that should be. Come on, baby. Yeah, I think that's about it. And so this allowed us to make sure that we did not alter the placement of our stones. That worked out really good, didn't it? All right, guys, let's get this thing ready to go here. Oh, wait a minute. We've got a stowaway. What are you doing? Get out! Get out! So now the moment of truth. This is gonna require the help of numerous people. We're gonna have to roll out the side wall. We've bolted down a few of the footings using a masonry bit and an anchor, just to a few of them, just so we have some stability. They don't come with any way to keep things intact on the ground. So it's a ridiculous gymnastics piece of shit, to be brutally honest. So don't buy one of these pools, okay? Buy something else. Use your money and go on a trip. The heat's getting to me today, as you can see. Aren't you having fun?
So much. This is so fun.
We're just gonna try to get it one of these channels here. Yeah, it's gotta go over top, eh? Oh! Whatever you do, don't move. Even if it takes days. Can you get the instruction book and just make sure we might actually need your guys' help for this. All right, if you're planning on getting one of these pools, don't. It's not worth it. Make sure you have 7 or 8 people to help you install it, because I can tell you it's not easy. They don't give you any way to really bolt it to the ground, okay? And they give you these flimsy plastic channels at the bottom, and then you got to unroll this big honking metal thing, which is super flexible. It catches the wind really easy. And then you got to install the columns, and everything seems to be held together by like these tiny little insignificant screws. This is a $4,000 piece of
I heard that.
But I will say, generally, the idea of having a swimming pool and a large, several thousand gallon storage of water in your backyard is a good thing if you're a prepper. It was a test of our patience. Many of us lost our cool at times. You know, there were lessons learned.
If something goes wrong, then you're probably doing something wrong.
That's damn good advice. If something went wrong, you did something wrong. You know, that's the essence of taking responsibility for yourself. But it's never the situation's fault. It's never something that's outside yourself. Anyways, we're gonna wrap it up here, and then we'll show you guys the finished product very soon. All right, guys, so we've filled up the pool with water, and as you can see, it's an odd turquoise color. We've tried a variety of different chemicals in order to make it clear. The kids don't seem to mind. I've done some professional water testing. We've had it lab tested, and it turns out that it's high in copper content. We've used some what's called cop out to try to get some of that coloration out. By and large, the whole purpose of this endeavor was to have an emergency above ground supply of water, because we don't have a lot of standing water here. We don't have running water. We don't have creeks on the property. This is a 40,000 liter tank, which is around 10,000 gallons. More than enough to provide for a family for many months, especially if you use it sparingly. The reason why I bring this up is because it's often overlooked in prepping when we're talking about water storage. Many people are going to overlook the many swimming pools that might exist within their community. Now, obviously, this is also going to make you a potential target. If you have a pool and your neighbors don't, and there's an SHTF situation, they're going to be coming to you for water. I presume a lot of emergency services would congregate. We're talking about the municipal swimming pools, because that is a reserve of H2O for the community. Now, one thing you're going to want to consider, and we've done videos on this before, is pool shock. So this is 70% chlorine, calcium hypochlorite. With this, you can make bleach. This is just another reason to store a lot of this stuff, okay? Whether you have a pool or not, you should have a bucket of this. It's going to allow you to make any water safe to drink. If you take anything from this video, just make sure you stockpile calcium hypochlorite, whether you have a pool or not. I'm happy with how it turned out. It turned out much better than I thought. For my prepper brain, the whole point of this, it's not really as a leisure thing, but it's nice for the kids to have something to do out here, but it's primarily as an emergency water supply.
The best way to support this channel is to support yourself by gearing up at CanadianPreparedness.com, where you'll find high-quality survival gear at the best prices, no junk, and no gimmicks. Use discount code PREPPINGGEAR for 10% off. Don't forget, the strong survive, but the prepared thrive. Stay safe.